So, since the turmoil in the Middle East is, going on and on and on day by day, and of course, it's never going to stop, as it is already going on for more than 2,000 years, well over 2,000 years. Um, but I think it is a good idea to not only talk about current events, but to get a little bit of a perspective of how the dynamics within the Middle East um, are configured, so to say. Because Middle East dynamics are complicated at the least. We are dealing with a lot of different countries, um, most of them Muslim, except for one, of course. Um, but those Muslim countries are not all from the same Islamic um, ideologies, and certainly not the same interests. Let's start with Saudi Arabia. Um, they are not Sunni, they are not Shia, they have their own kind of version of Islam that is quite stringent, but I would say not as stringent as Shia Islam. Um, Now, Saudi Arabia, um, a lot of people think that Saudi Arabia is on U.S. side, but they really aren't. Um, they are basically on the side of Saudi Arabia. They don't back anybody unless it's um, in the good interests of themselves. For sure, they will never back um, IRGC because IRGC is Shia Islam and they hate Shia Islam. They don't particularly hate Israel as well, but that also comes down to dynamics. Um, so we have Saudi Arabia. You have to understand the Arabian Peninsula, a, a large portion is Saudi Arabia, and then under that we have Yemen on the left side, and then on the right side uh, we have Oman, and then alongside the, let's say, eastern coast we have all those smaller Arab nations, the UAE, etc. They, of course, they also have their own interests, but not. They are not really the same as Saudi Arabia as well. They tend to line more towards land towards the US more than Saudi Arabia, even though sometimes it seems that Saudi Arabia is really lining up with Washington, but that is just image, that is just politics. Um, then we look at the area around Israel. We have Israel, and under Israel, we have uh, Egypt. Then on the right, on the east side of Israel, we have Jordan, and then Further down to the right, we have Iraq, and Iraq again is bordering Iran. And then all the way down below Iraq, there is Kuwait, very, very tiny. Um, Kuwait is not actually bordered by Iran, but it's very close. It's some kind of in between Saudi Arabia and Iran in this kind of way, and uh, directly bordering Iraq. Um, and then above that, of course, we have Syria. Syria is also bordering Jordan, um, bordering Turkey. And Turkey is huge because Turkey is also bordering Iran. Now, on the right of Iran, we have Pakistan. And more further to the right, there is India. A little more to the top is China. So Pakistan has a border with China as well as with India, as well as with Iran. So China has basically free access to Iran because Pakistan is, um, well, they are saying that they are not choosing any side, but they are definitely on the side of Iran, at least on the side of the IRGC. Um, Surely they are kind of negotiating sometimes, but it's not real negotiations because they are clearly sided with Iran. Um, and under the influence of China. And of course, China is also an ally of Iran, an ally of Pakistan, um, and certainly not an ally of India. So that's also one of the reasons why Pakistan and India is also trouble. So yeah, there are a lot of dynamics here, and every country has its own interests, its own allies, its own sphere of influence. Um, so it's not as easy as sometimes the media wants you to believe. Um, a lot of things are in play here. Uh, for example, Saudi Arabia mostly only cares about its own oil production, and Saudi Arabia is not really willing to sacrifice any disturbance of its oil production, and that's why Saudi Arabia already uh, sort of forced the US to back down um, from their war on Iran because they don't want their oil production to be at risk. And that's why you see in the media that, well, this narrative of there are talks between the US and Iran. Of course, there are not really talks. This is, in most cases, this is just Saudi Arabia forcing the US to take a break or cancel some planned action. Um, so they have a certain influence over what is being decided in the Pentagon and in the White House, but certainly not what is decided in Israel. And Israel doesn't really care about what the Saudis want or not want. But Israel also has to maintain a good relationship with the US. So you see that all those interlinked relations, well, yeah, it's very complicated. And then, well, I didn't talk about Lebanon, of course. Lebanon is a very small country. They're about one third of the size of Israel. Israel is already not too big. And then Lebanon is still tinier. Um, you can see that the government of Lebanon is kind of on the side of Israel, but the country is mostly under influence of Hezbollah, and uh, that is not really something that the Lebanese government can do a lot about. Like I said, Lebanon is a very small country, is not particularly rich, but Iran, we have to remember that Hezbollah is funded and controlled by the IRGC. So Hezbollah has a lot of more money than actually the Lebanese government has. So that's why now Israel is helping. It's not really helping because it's in their own interest, but uh, exterminating Hezbollah. Um, so yeah, and then of course Israel has its own conflict zone, West Gaza, and um, down south there. So yeah, it's something that, well, it will not be fixed very soon, if ever. Like I said, all those conflicts are going on for probably close than 3,000 years, and probably also will go on kind of forever. So um, this is not something that we will see uh, been resolved. Certainly not in our lifetimes. So that's a little bit of background of uh, the Middle Eastern situation and the dynamics over there.